I'm visiting with Brian Jennings, and first of all, Brian, introduce yourself to folks. Tell us what you do.
Hey, Chuck, Brian Jennings. I'm the CEO for the American Coalition for Ethanol.
Well, speaking of ACE, as we call it, you've got plans being made, I guess, for a fly-in coming up, right?
Yep, we're at the RFA National Ethanol Conference today, and in less than a month, we're going to have several members of the industry, and not just members of the industry, farmers and people from all walks of life join us for our annual fly-in in Washington, D.C. on the 17th and the 18th of March, and we have a few issues to talk about when we're out there.
So you have some plans, right?
We have some plans. Some of the plans you just recycle from the years prior, unfortunately. But you know, we have to keep banging away at some of these priorities. So legislation to finally allow retailers to sell E15 year-round is going to be right at the top of that list. We heard from Assistant Administrator Szabo with EPA today that the RVOs are moving now for 2026 and 2027. We'll have him speak to our group when we're out there as well and trying to push that to a final conclusion at the end of March. And then, tell you what, the industry is incredibly excited, despite the disappointment with the more recent setbacks relative to E15 year-round legislation. There's a lot of interest and excitement and enthusiasm, frankly, around 45Z and the Clean Fuel Production Tax Credit, how producers are going to make a claim for that, what the rules are going to be going forward. So we've got a lot of work to do on that front as the proposal is out for public comment, but you know that'll be another big topic for our fly-in.
Talking about the E15 situation, do you expect anything to change before the fly-in?
I don't want to be, how do I put this in the most positive way? I've always had concerns about allowing the small and mid-sized refiners to have too much influence as this process unfolds, Chuck, and I think that's what they are doing right now to this House Council. This House Council contains some of ethanol's strongest champions in Congress, without a doubt. But it also contains some members of Congress that are advocating on behalf of these small and mid-sized refiners that want to have it both ways. They want to get a small refinery exemption, and they also want the ability to blend biofuels to generate a RIN and then make money off that RIN as well. And those companies, Chuck, should not be allowed to hijack the process of finally allowing folks to have access to E15, and that's been my concern. Now, between now and our fly-in, there could be a breakthrough. Randy Feenstra, the co-chair of this in the House, is working very hard. He and his staff are incredible, and they're committed to getting something done. And if it were Randy Feenstra and a handful of others, I have confidence it would. But there are other people at the table that are, I think, not trying to come to a conclusion. So we'll see, but I fear we may have this issue still on our plate come mid-March.
So before we close, what does ACE want to see as far as the 45Z tax credit is concerned?
More certainty and sooner. And, you know, that especially comes home to roost when it comes to farming practices. There's a lot of interest in, not every ethanol plant, let me back up, not every ethanol plant can capture and sequester CO2. And that's the way to really drive your CI score down and really obtain sort of the maximum potential 45Z tax credit. So what do producers that don't have that opportunity, what do they have at their disposal? Well, there's enzymes, there's different things that they can add in their production mix, their technology innovations they can invest in, but farming practices is something that almost every ethanol plant can take advantage of, but we need to know the rules to the road. We need to know how much value no-till or reduced-till corn farming is, for our nutrient management. We need to know the rules to the road, and we don't yet have that. And so we're advocating very strongly, working with DOE, working with Treasury, working with USDA to try and push those modeling tools forward as we finalize 45Z, and that's really what plants need to know.
Thank you very much, Brian, for taking a little bit of time here to visit with us, and look forward to another good year for ACE here at the National Ethanol Conference. I'm Chuck Zimmerman.